Hello and welcome to Sports Fan Entertainment, here to give my preview and predictions for the Tennessee Titans against Jacksonville Jaguars Week 11. This is what will be the first of probably two matchups between the Tennessee Titans and the Jacksonville Jaguars. We know that at least for the regular season, I assume for the entire season, including the postseason, between these two AFC South rivals. And we're going to go ahead and get into this matchup today, discuss it, give you my thoughts on the injury report and the headlines that have been coming about the team, and then eventually give you my touchdown keys to the game, and eventually my prediction of who will win this game. Now, I have to say, it's so funny, this fan base, man. It's incredible. So after the win against the Falcons, where Will Levis looked incredible and everything was high hopes, I heard people, saying, okay, now let's look out for a potential playoff run. Look out, we're reinvigorated, here we come. And then now, after the last 2 weeks, both of which I predicted us to lose, it's now people are discussing us potentially going 3-14. I mean, this fan base is incredible. It blows my mind how we can forget things that have happened this season. Literally this season. The Titans had beaten, every team that they've beaten has a better record than them, despite losing to the Titans. Every single team that they've beaten the Falcons, who have more wins than them, the Chargers, who have more wins than them, and the Bengals, who have more wins than them. And yet we're going to lose out, apparently. Apparently this team, while they're not great, and I'm going to sit here and tell you that they're great. The idea that this season, it's over in terms of the playoffs. I've been saying that, I'm sorry. And even I can admit, okay, maybe there's a chance. But the idea that we're going to lose out, guys, come on. Look, I know you want a top 5 pick. I take one. That ship sailed when we beat the Falcons. And I'm happy we beat the Falcons, but the ship sailed. And now we face the Jacksonville Jaguars. And the thing about these divisional games, you never quite know how they're going to go, especially in the AFC South. There's only one team that has ever really dominated this division. I guess maybe two-ish, but really one real era, and that was Peyton Manning. Peyton Manning will dominate the division. Outside of that, even when the Jacksonville Jaguars were really good, rarely did they ever go 5-1 in this division. Hell, remember the year where they went 14-2? What were their 3 losses, including the playoffs? To us! This is how the AFC South goes. So as we head into this game, and everyone is already assuming that we're going to lose, and what's the point, and blah, blah, blah. First of all, the Jaguars are who I thought they were coming into the season. Some people thought we could beat them for the division. I said we're not doing that. But the idea they're going to be some sort of Super contender, no. And their shellacking that they got via the San Francisco 49ers last week in Jacksonville proved that. This is a very winnable game here, guys. And I have no scenario in which we sweep the Jaguars, but I think it's still kind of likely that we split with them. And whether it's Jacksonville or Tennessee, we feel comfortable losing to them or beating them, either one. So this is a very much a live game. So let's go ahead and get into mainly the injury report is the news this week. So let's go ahead and get into the injury report and go ahead and take a look at that. So let's start with the Titans side of things. So you look at the Titans injury report. So Treylon Burks did not practice. He's still dealing with the concussion. And in my opinion, you can go ahead and rule him out. It's unfortunate because this is a game where we could really use Treylon Burks. When we get into my touchdown keys to the game, I think receivers are going to be huge for us in this game. And having Treylon Burks, although you may not have a high opinion of him, and he does certainly need to prove a lot especially in terms of his draft status, he would have been very useful in this game, but I'm expecting him to continue to miss time. Maybe he'll be back next week, but maybe looking at the week after that, man, brutal, man. Especially when you miss multiple weeks with a concussion. It's a bad concussion. So the fact he's done this twice already in his 2-year career is, it's concerning. It's not good. Andre Dillard also finds himself on the concussion protocol. He's not going to play. I definitely expect Andre Dillard to not play. So Dylan Rader is going to get some run, and we're going to see if he can play better than he did on Sunday. Dillard, though, because he's so awful, it's hard to be worse than him. Now, when Dillard went out, were we better? No. But maybe with the week of practice, we will be. So keeping an eye on that. Daniel Brunskill. So he was limited both Wednesday and Thursday. My sense is that I think he'll play. I mean, God knows we need him. It might be sad to say it, but he is one of our better offensive linemen at this point. If not, maybe I could say the best. But he's been up there. It's either him or Skoronski. But Skoronski, I mean, even he hasn't been great lately. Are you going to say Brewer? Jesus. I mean, talk about a hell of a race in terms of the best offensive lineman. So it might be nice to get him out there. We'll see about that. Sean Murphy Bunting. So he has a thumb injury, limited participation both days. We'll see there. I'd like to see him out there. I have a mixed sense if he's going to play or not, but we'll see. Luke Gefford, I think he'll be fine. I think he'll play. And then we have the usual rest when it comes to Henry, Hopkins. No worries or issues there. Look at the Jacksonville Jaguars. So what's going on over there? So we have some interesting things here. So Jamal Agnew, he's not a huge target for them, but he's someone that you have to consider when it comes to the receiving game and the return game. He looks like he's not going to play with shoulder ribs injuries. Tyson Campbell, huge. Okay, this is huge. This is absolutely huge for us. He's going to miss. He's not going to play. Don't expect him to play and miss both Wednesday and Thursday practices. He is their de facto number one corner, although you can argue, and I will argue, he's not been their best playing corner this year. He does a lot of the number one assignments, so he's going to be out. And then Zay Jones. So this is interesting. We're going to see what happens with Zay Jones. So he was arrested 2 days ago for a domestic violence issue. But according to Doug Peterson, they're still in the wait and see when it comes to that situation. So that's not going to determine whether or not he plays. But he's still dealing with the knee injury that he has essentially been dealing with all season. I think since week 5 that he's been dealing with this knee injury. He's missed a lot of time. He came back and he got injured again. So we'll see if he plays. I don't know how effective he'd be if he does play because, I mean, he's just played so little this season. However, I've already kind of stretched thin in terms of having to cover, talking about Christian Kirk and Evan Ingram and Calvin Ridley. If they have another weapon out there, just it makes it all the more difficult, and I don't trust our corners as is. So if Zay Jones misses, that'd be nice. That way we don't have to worry about another weapon when it comes to the Jacksonville Jaguars passing offense. All right, so that is the injury report. So let's go ahead and look at my tighten up keys to the game. So I kind of aforementioned this a little bit, but let's actually go with it's always something else to start before we get into the receivers and how impactful they will be, and they certainly will be. So tighten up key number 1 is to protect the football. So the Jacksonville Jaguars defense this season is really proficient at one thing. They're good when it comes to their run defense. Their pass defense, here's the thing. They turn the ball over. That's their move. That's what they do. 11 interceptions thus far this season. And also, you can include the running game in this. 9 forced fumbles. So 20 turnovers forced for the Jacksonville Jaguars this season. Although I think that forced fumble numbers, I'm not sure if that includes fumbles lost. Maybe it doesn't, but still. So they know, but at the very least, the interceptions, 11 interceptions. They know how to turn the football over. But it's funny then when you look at some of their yardage allowed, they're 30th right now in the NFL when it comes to passing yards, and then rushing yards are about average. Now, they've been ahead in a lot of games. So a lot of teams have been passing on them late in games to try to come back and win. So that is an aspect to this. But without a doubt, the strength of their defense right now is being able to particularly intercept the football. They might be leading the league in interceptions, if not very, very close. So we have to protect the football, and I'm looking at you, Will Levis. No interceptions this week. This is huge. I know you like to take your shots down the field. And with Tyson Campbell out, they're going to be having Darius Williams going up against DeAndre Hopkins. Darius Williams already has 3 interceptions this season. Also, they're going to have Andre Cisco behind him helping as safety. He has 3 interceptions this season. That's 6 interceptions between Cisco and Darius Williams. They're going to be on you, expecting you to do your little sideline throw that you love to do over DeAndre Hopkins. They're watching the tape. They're watching the tape, same as me. They're anticipating it. They're ready for it. Okay, so you've been getting away with it, but lately it's been getting closer and closer to a pick, And this week is the week it will be a pick. If you continue to try it, this is the week it's going to be a pick. It's going to hurt this team. But if you can protect the football, I think you'll be able to find some holes in this Jacksonville Jaguars offense, particularly in the middle. So this is why I get into tight end key number 2. Spread the wealth in the passing game. So like I said, Tyson Campbell's out. This leaves Darius Williams. They also are a bit thin behind Darius Williams. They have Trey Herndon, who's like their slot corner, and they have 2 young kids. Let me see if I can remember their names. I'll pull up their names right now in terms of their depth chart. But they have 2 young kids behind them. One that was drafted last year's draft in 2022 in the 7th round. And then, they have Monteric Brown out of Arkansas, who they drafted in the 7th round last year, and they have Gregory Jr., who was drafted in the 6th round last year. Neither of these guys have played much at all. Monteric Brown, whenever he's played, has not been particularly impressive, and Gregory Jr. has not played really at all. Very limited snaps. So there's no tape on them. They're very inexperienced. This is a perfect opportunity to spread the wealth in the passing game. Don't just throw it to Hopkins. I know you want to throw to Hopkins, but again, their best corner is going to be lined up against Hopkins. Spread the wealth, make them confused, and make these cornerbacks that are unproven have to go out there and work. Because again, I'm anticipating that Tyson Campbell is going to be out. Their secondary is going to be vulnerable when it comes to these young corners. Attack them. Kyle Phillips, you've been having a nice rapport with him. Let's continue that rapport. Hey, hit Tajay Spears in the backfield. Let him do some things. Chigo Okonkwo, he's been having a horrible season. I know people are out on him, and maybe deservedly so, because he has not been able to, come down with some of these catches, but there's going to be opportunities to make plays. So spread the wealth. I know DeAndre Hopkins is our best weapon. It's not even close. But this is a week where I wouldn't test this Jacksonville Jaguars secondary by being predictable, by keep going to DeAndre Hopkins. Spread the wealth. Absolutely spread the wealth. And then number 3, now, I could have easily just said, protect Will Levis. I could say that every week. So I'll be a little more specific. Limit Josh Allen, and not the quarterback of the Bills, the outside linebacker for the Jacksonville Jaguars. He is by far their best pass rusher. He has 9 sacks on the year. Their next leading pass rusher, Travon Walker, has 3.5. Okay, Travon Walker has not nearly lived up to the number 1 overall pick hype in 2022. Thank you, Jacksonville Jaguars, for overthinking and not taking Aiden Hutchinson. I thank you for that, because Trevor Lawrence and Aiden Hutchinson as a quarterback defensive end duo would have given me nightmares. But luckily you took Trayvon Walker, so now I don't have to worry about it. Oh, and Josh Allen and Aiden Hutchinson would have given Will Levis nightmares for the next 10 years. So thank you. I really appreciate it, Jacksonville. You always having our back when it comes to some of your draft picks. My God. So limit him. Okay, if you limit him, Travon Walker, he's still athletic enough to make plays. So I'm not saying ignore him. I just haven't seen him break a game yet. I've seen him make the occasional play, but I think if you limit Josh Allen, I think he'll be fine. I think Will Levis will be fine. I'm not expecting or anticipating, nearly the horrible play that we had against the Bucs. I think the Bucs have a more impressive defensive line and pass rushing ability, especially with Todd Bowles at the helm as head coach, than the Jacksonville Jaguars have. So I think if you're able to limit Josh Allen, I think you will be fine. So, with all of that said, what is my prediction for this game, Tennessee Titans versus Jacksonville Jaguars? So, as I said, and I think I'm going to make a video about this probably next week, because I got to go on record. This team's winning at least 5 games this year, which I can't even believe it's a shocking thing to say to some people, at least. And if I had to bet 6, okay? If I had to bet 6, at least. I don't think it's going to be 7. I think 6 is perfect. I think 6 is literally perfect. And this could be one of the 6, because I just believe. The Panthers, they eventually are going to win a game or 2, and it could be us. But we're beating the Colts the second time around, and we're not going to get swept by the Texans and the Jaguars. Both of them. I just can't believe that. I'd have to see that. And then I doubt that we'll upset the Dolphins or the Seahawks. I doubt it. But, it could happen. We get the Seahawks here, and the Seahawks, they haven't been great on the road. So I'm saying 6 definitively. Win or lose. If we lose this week, go 3-7, I'll make that video, and I'll go on record. I don't give a damn. I believe that with all my heart that we're going to win at least 5 games. If we get blown out in Jacksonville this week, I'll maintain that belief, and what a perfect time for me to say it. Look, this will be a 3rd straight road game for us. We suck on the road. We go back home against Carolina. I think things are going to change. So what I would have preferred, kind of, was for the Jags to have beaten the 49ers last week in a close game. I would have preferred that because we could have caught them off guard. However, they lost. And in horrible fashion, they got blown out. So it's a situation, and now we didn't play well either. We didn't get blown out. To me, 2 touchdowns and blowout. For me, 20 points or more is blowout. They got blown out. For me, I can't see them losing 2 straight embarrassing games at home. And losing, maybe not embarrassing. Well, it'd be kind of embarrassing to lose to us at home at this point. I would say extremely disappointing losses at home back-to-back would be, it's just a little too unlikely for me to say. Now, with that said, do I feel like this team is capable of losing 3 in a row, albeit on the road? No. I also don't necessarily feel that. So what it's going to come down, if we win the game, it's going to be Lawrence threw an interception or 2. He did not play well. And I think it would take some heroics from Levis as well. I think it would probably take a game-winning drive, but it's possible. I have to do the smarter play right now, and I'm going to pick Jacksonville. However, it's going to be close, and we will cover the spread, especially after last week losing by 2 touchdowns. We will cover the spread, the 7-point spread right now. So I have us losing this game. I know. I did want us to pick us to win, especially after that opening rant. I'm going to say 24-20. However, that 20 is Will Levis probably having the ball with the chance to win at the end of the game. And I think he'll fail. I'll say our offense will fail. I'm not going to say him personally will fail. I think our offense will fail, but I think the opportunity to win this game will be there. Okay? And then whether or not we cash it in, we'll see. And then after this 3rd straight loss, I think coming back home, I don't see us losing 4 straight against the Panthers. We'll see if the Panthers look this week as they're shuffling their play calling duties and what's going on with that. I mean, oh my God, who the hell knows? But I think, we will see more success against the Panthers next week, and we'll win, and then that'll be one of the 2 or 3 more wins that we have this season. So, look, I know everyone wants to top Epic. We'll see. It's going to be 6, 7, 8, or 9. I mean, that's just what it's going to be to me. I know people are already doing their mock drafts and already thinking about it. We will have plenty of time to discuss that. I'm not quite there yet. But that's what I'm anticipating. But anticipated close game. It's going to be, to me, a 1-score game. Tennessee Titans, though, ultimately get a little bit close and fail 24-20. So what are your thoughts on this matchup? Comment down below. I want to know. If you enjoyed the video, make sure to like, comment, and most importantly, to subscribe. Until next time, this has been MJ of Sports Fan Entertainment, and I'm out. See you all later.